People like you are labeled parasites. My brother's accusation pierced the air as I stood before him, his wife, and our mother. The weight of their condemnation bore down on me, a burden I could no longer bear. We're going to be living together from now on, so can you leave? Those words echoed in my mind, igniting a fury I could no longer suppress. I, too, am flawed, imperfect in my own right. Yet their unkindness only fueled my resolve. No longer will I endure their scorn silently. It's time they realize the mistake of underestimating me. With determination as my guide, I plotted to confront my brother and mother head-on. My name is Jessica, a 37-year-old office worker. 3 years have passed since my father's battle with cancer ended, leaving behind a final plea for me to care for our mother. It was this solemn promise that drew me back to the family home. But instead of gratitude, all I received were endless demands, as if my sacrifices were expected, not appreciated. I'm heading out to grab dinner with the neighbors. Can you spare some cash? She casually tossed the request my way. Make sure you have some money ready for tomorrow. It's my friend's birthday, and I need to get a gift. Her demands seemed endless. Our vacuum cleaner is ancient. We need a new one, the latest model, she insisted, adding yet another item to the list. Each demand felt like a weight pressing down on me, her temper flaring if I dared to object. Reluctantly, I found myself acquiescing to her desires. Managing the constant stream of requests became a chore in itself. To streamline the process, I made her an authorized user on a separate account, transferring a lump sum to cover her expenses. As a single office worker in my later years, I've dedicated countless hours to my career, resulting in a substantial income. Additionally, I've wisely invested in stocks over the years, building a significant nest egg. However, these details are kept from my mother, a habitual spender whose tendencies would surely drain my savings. Yet for now, her frivolous habits aren't a pressing concern. Unbeknownst to her, I diligently save while she continues to splurge. Our monthly expenses tally around $4,000, largely due to her extravagance. I recognize the wastefulness of our situation, but altering it proves daunting. I'm not prepared to sever ties with my mother, despite the financial strain. Conflicting emotions towards familial duty cloud my judgment. Is valuing family a facade, or simply a sign of vulnerability? The driving force behind my continued existence in this distorted reality is the pledge I made to my father. He was my beacon of integrity, hardworking, compassionate, and forthright. From a young age, I revered him, striving to emulate his exemplary character. Following his sage advice, start early, reap the rewards, I began stashing away funds during my student days, laying the groundwork for future investments. Even upon entering the workforce, I remained steadfast in my savings pursuits, eventually amassing enough capital to venture into the world of investments. Throughout this journey, I absorbed invaluable lessons on financial literacy, a legacy passed down from my father. Armed with knowledge, I navigated the complexities of investment with relative ease, reaping profits and avoiding major pitfalls. Similarly, I mirrored my father's work ethic, seeking his counsel whenever I encountered professional challenges. In the early years of my career, post-work drinks with my father became a cherished tradition, providing a sanctuary for candid discussions away from the tensions that sometimes brewed at home. While my mother's presence occasionally injected discord into our conversations, those moments shared with my father offered solace and clarity amidst life's tumult. Under my father's guidance, I flourished in my career, finding both success and a newfound sense of self-assurance. My passion for my work deepened, feeling a profound dedication to my professional pursuits. Despite remaining single, I harbored no regrets about prioritizing my career. Life unfolded in a familiar rhythm. While my mother's extravagant tendencies remained a concern, I chose to focus on my work, allowing her the freedom to indulge in her habits. Yet, amidst the demands of my job, my mother insisted on assigning household tasks, blurring the lines between work and home life. Determined to maintain equilibrium, I endeavored to balance both spheres of responsibility. Over time, I honed my domestic skills, mastering chores, and even refining my culinary talents. I viewed these endeavors optimistically, imagining they might one day serve me well in marriage. Nevertheless, the weight of my mother's expectations grew burdensome. I sensed the need to break free from the confines of this suffocating existence, yearning for a life unencumbered by her demands. Amidst the chaos of my daily life, the presence of my older brother and his wife only served to compound my troubles. David, my elder by 2 years, and his wife Lily, who coincidentally shares my age, began frequenting our family home more often. While their visits weren't inherently problematic historically, David and I never saw eye to eye. Our personalities clashed relentlessly. I embodied the conservative and prudent traits inherited from our father, while David mirrored our mother's impulsive and carefree nature. Since childhood, David's approach to finances mirrored his personality. He spent recklessly, devoid of any foresight or planning, living purely for the present moment. Yet despite his financial missteps, he possessed a cunning charm, adept at winning our mother's favor whenever he found himself in need of funds. "Mom, I truly appreciate all your hard work and dedication to keeping our household running smoothly," David would croon, effortlessly weaving his way into her good graces. "I promise to lend a hand with chores next time." With honeyed words, he effortlessly manipulated her, securing whatever his heart desired. Not only was David adept at charming our mother, but he also excelled in sports, particularly soccer, where his skills earned him admiration from the community. To our mother, David was the epitome of pride, a son whose accomplishments reflected positively on her. Basking in his accolades felt akin to receiving praise herself. Thus, it became routine for her to indulge his every whim, showering him with affection and gifts. In contrast, my strengths lay in academia, lacking the prowess displayed by my brother in sports. Consequently, from my mother's perspective, there was little cause for celebration in my endeavors. I appeared unremarkable, often overshadowed by David's achievements. In the eyes of our neighbors, I was simply known as David's sister. This dynamic fueled my mother's favoritism towards him, leaving me feeling overlooked and undervalued. Moreover, my close bond with our father likely exacerbated her preference for David. Despite our father's attempts at impartiality, my mother's partiality only deepened David's arrogance and hostility towards me. Our strained relationship only served to further entrench my mother's allegiance to him, perpetuating the cycle of favoritism and resentment. "Jessica, move. You're blocking the TV." "Why should I? I was here first. The anime I've been waiting for is about to start. Move from that spot on the couch." "What? You've recorded that anime. You can watch it later. I want to watch it live now." "Just move." David's self-centeredness was a common occurrence, his desires always taking precedence. Despite the blatant unfairness of his demands, our mother consistently sided with him. Even in moments of conflict or disagreement, she remained steadfast in her support of David. "What are you doing, Jessica? David's show is starting, so move and let him watch." "But I was watching something." "Quit being selfish and let him watch." "You go back to your room, you're just in the way." Mother's scolding reverberated through the air, her tone sharp and unyielding. Left with no recourse, I retreated to the solace of my room, while David claimed the couch without a hint of remorse. As if to underscore her favoritism, Mother returned with snacks and juice exclusively for David, disregarding my presence entirely. In the absence of our father, such partiality towards David only intensified, leaving me feeling increasingly alienated. Growing up amidst this dynamic, it was only natural for me to distance myself from David. As we transitioned into adulthood, my first encounter with David's wife, Lily, left an indelible impression. "So, you're Jessica, David's sister," she remarked, her words dripping with disdain. "You're every bit as plain and unfashionable as David described you. It's no wonder you lack any charm." I was rendered speechless, the sting of Lily's words cutting deep during what should have been a joyous family gathering. While such comments might have warranted reprimand from other family members, David and Lily appeared to revel in their cruelty, leaving me with an instant aversion towards Lily. Her disdainful remarks became a recurring theme, tarnishing even the most cherished family gatherings from New Year's celebrations to Independence Day. "Jessica, we're the same age, yet here you are, still single. Have you ever even had a boyfriend?" Lily's taunts echoed through the room, amplified by David's chuckles of agreement. "No man would ever consider someone as ordinary as you. Jessica's always been devoid of worth, with nothing to offer." They jeered in unison, their words a harsh reminder of their disdain for me. In my father's absence, David and his wife seized the opportunity to demean me, with my mother offering no defense, only joining in their laughter. Consequently, every family gathering at our parents' home became an ordeal for me. Several years ago, when David was transferred for work, the frequency of these uncomfortable gatherings diminished, offering me a semblance of peace. However, his recent return brought back the unwelcome intrusion. Regardless of the season, David and his wife now visit every weekend, disrupting my routine and exacerbating the tension. You're still as unremarkable as ever, aren't you? Living at home at your age. It's simply unacceptable. Did you know they call women like you parasite singles? It's embarrassing to have someone like you as my sister-in-law. Their mocking words only adding insult to injury. David and Lily's harsh words strike a chord of truth within me. It's undeniably embarrassing. As the one who financially supports my mother's lifestyle, I find solace by retreating to my room whenever they belittle me. While they don't actively seek my company, I can't help but notice their outings with my mother. During these occasions, I hastily prepare and consume my meal before retreating to the sanctuary of my room, where I can work without much interaction with them. Yet the frequency of their visits only seems to increase with time, and each time, my mother treats them to lavish meals. Perusing the credit card statements, I'm taken aback by the frequency of their visits to upscale wine bars and barbecue restaurants. Moreover, I can't ignore the fact that most of the designer clothing they flaunt is purchased by my mother. It's a perplexing situation. My mother showers them with gifts and treats, and they accept it as their entitlement. The disparity between their indulgence and my own frugality weighs heavily on my mind. Finally reaching the end of my patience, I mustered the courage to confront my mother about her excessive indulgence towards David and Lily. Mom, you're spoiling David and Lily too much with all these fancy dinners. They both have jobs. Why don't you let them pitch in sometimes? My words ignited a fiery reaction from my mother, her face flushing with anger. Who do you think you are, telling me how to spend my money? How I treat David and Lily is none of your concern. Have you forgotten the favor of allowing you to live under this roof? Her words struck me like a blow, leaving me stunned by her audacity. It was perplexing how she could disregard all I've done for her, seemingly forgetting my contributions to our household. The only reason I remain in my childhood home is out of respect for the promise I made to my father, not out of any desire to be with her. It appeared that Mother had shared our recent disagreement with David and Lily as they arrived at the house a few days later with stern words. Jessica, it's time to face reality. The only reason you're still here is because of Mom's kindness. How could you betray her like this? People like you are nothing but parasites, Jessica. It's time for you to leave this house. Excuse me, you heard us correctly. We're going to be living here with Mom from now on. So, could you please make arrangements to leave? With a heavy burden weighing on my shoulders, the trio launched into a tirade against me. My patience waned as their words cut deeper. I'm no saint. There's no reason for me to continue being kind to people who treat me like this. It's too late for them to realize the error of their ways. In that moment, a plan for retribution formed in my mind against David, Lily, and Mother. I understand. If my leaving brings you satisfaction, then so be it. The couple's malicious grins only fueled my resolve. Remember your promise. If you're still here when we return, we won't hesitate to evict you. With determination coursing through me, I bid farewell to the house. Let's start anew, Mom. Yes, I'm thrilled. It'll be wonderful living with David and Lily. What a joy it will be. As they gleefully discussed their future, I retreated to my room, immediately setting out to find a new home. Opting for practicality over extravagance, I set out for an affordable apartment near my workplace, prioritizing safety and convenience. With the logistics swiftly arranged, I notified Mother of my impending move. In response, she wasted no time informing David and Lily. A week later, my relocation was complete, and it became clear that Mother's allegiance lay elsewhere. She embarked on a vacation with the couple, only returning in time for David and Lily's move into our family home. Soon after, Mother's voice crackled through the phone, laced with shock and anger. Jessica, what's going on? Where are all the furniture and appliances? Well, I bought them with my own money, so I took them with me, I replied calmly. Don't be absurd. I bought those with my money. Remember, you asked me to replace them, and I did. I paid for everything. Mother's frustration was palpable. You're mistaken. I've been using my own credit card for purchases, I countered. It seemed Mother had conveniently forgotten that the card she used was provided by me. But I let her accusations roll off me, ending the call casually. Eventually, Mother attempted to replace the missing items, only to find the bank account linked to her credit card had been emptied. A few days later, I received a call from David. Mom's credit card isn't working. What's going on? You're behind this, aren't you? David's accusatory tone sliced through the air, revealing his keen intuition. I simply took necessary measures, I replied, trying to frame my actions in a more positive light. His anger simmered beneath his words. You've been footing the bills all this time. Did you realize that every luxury, from fine wines to designer clothes, was funded by the sister you've belittled? So, unknowingly, we've been living off your generosity. David's realization hung heavy in the air. Exactly. How does it feel, David, to know your lifestyle was bankrolled by the sister you ridiculed? You two seem quite proud. Must be a blow to your ego, I remarked, deliberately provoking them. David appeared flustered, struggling to find a retort amidst his frustration. Why the hell would you do this? He finally exclaimed, his irritation palpable. Lily, who had been listening in, interjected with a pointed question. Why didn't you inform us earlier? Mom, does this mean you have no money left? Mother, caught off guard by Lily's accusation, stammered in response. I always assumed there was a substantial inheritance from your father. I'm sorry. While our father did leave behind some inheritance, Mother's extravagant spending habits depleted much of it, leaving little for us. It was this realization that prompted him to advise me to build my own wealth. I trust you'll find a solution. I've only followed your guidance, I asserted. Jessica, wait, we're not finished yet, David protested, but I refused to entertain further discussion, cutting ties with him, Lily, and Mother. Ignoring their pleas for reconciliation, I blocked their numbers. Subsequently, I received emails from both Mother and David, each pleading for assistance. Through these messages, a startling revelation emerged. David had resigned from his job under the mistaken assumption that he could live off our presumed family wealth. It was clear that his lavish lifestyle had left him with unrealistic expectations. Currently, they struggle to make ends meet with part-time jobs, their past extravagance now a distant memory. Their constant disputes only serve to underscore the stark contrast between their previous lifestyle and their current reality. Despite their pleas to move in with me, I remained steadfast in my decision to sever ties, choosing to ignore their messages and focus on my own path. Currently, I revel in the tranquility of my solitary existence. I've severed ties with David and Mother, content in the knowledge that I've honored my father's wishes. Focused on my career and financial goals, I am determined to expand my wealth through diligent work and strategic investments. As I steadily build my assets, I also intend to gradually delve into the realms of love and companionship, open to the possibilities of romance and marriage. My discovery shook me to the core. My husband was having an affair. Luxury brand gifts were being showered upon his mistress, all paid for with my credit card. For the sake of our son, I endured silently, but the weight became unbearable. I knew I had to take action. Unexpectedly, the person who came to my aid was the last one I imagined. I am Alexa, 35 years old, married to Austin for a decade. Our son Drake turned 8 this year. With a passion for writing, I turned novelist, fulfilling the lifelong dream. My debut mystery novel found success, leading to regular serialization and a busy schedule. Initially, Austin worked, but he quit when my writing became profitable. For the past few years, he spent his days idly, occasionally gambling. So when he dressed in a suit one day, claiming a job interview, I sensed something awry. Why the suit? I asked, catching him off guard. He hesitated before saying, I have an interview. For what? A job, he replied, a bit too quickly. Wishing him luck, I let him go, believing in his intention to change for our family's future. Yet when he returned at 1 a.m., reeking of alcohol and perfume, asleep on the sofa with his unlocked phone in hand, my curiosity overwhelmed me. I couldn't resist the urge to peek into my husband's smartphone. What's this? I couldn't believe my eyes. It was undeniable. My husband was cheating. Even more shocking was his affair with my close friend, Ashley. They had been to a luxurious restaurant known for its stunning night views. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. No way. Austin and Ashley. Why? Ashley had a husband too. I had trusted them both. Confronted with this unexpected truth, tears welled up uncontrollably. I tried to stifle my sobs, not wanting to wake Austin. But I needed evidence. Quietly, I transferred proof of the affair to my own phone, unsure of what to do next. The next morning, Austin acted as if nothing had happened. Hey, Austin, about yesterday, I began cautiously. Yesterday, he replied casually. You mean when I said I had an interview but came home late? I couldn't help but wonder what had really happened. My husband averted his eyes as if searching for an excuse. Well, actually I ran into a friend after the interview, so we ended up grabbing a drink. A friend? Who? Someone you don't know. I don't have to explain everything, do I? Yeah, you're right. As expected, my husband concealed his meeting with Ashley. His demeanor made it clear he was having an affair. 1 month after discovering his infidelity, I remained uncertain of my next steps. I hadn't confronted him yet. I couldn't bring myself to. If I did, I knew it would spell the end of our marriage. If it were just me, I would have presented the evidence and filed for divorce immediately. But I couldn't bear to take Drake's father away from him. He was only 8 years old. During my confinement to our room, working away, Austin began going out more frequently. Yet this gave me a chance. I resolved to gather evidence of his affair while he was out. Searching through his belongings, I found several unfamiliar receipts. Apparently, he had purchased luxury items for women, but of course, those items were nowhere to be found in our room. I hadn't received those gifts from him either. There was only one explanation. Austin was giving Ashley those branded items. But where was he getting the money for that? He had been unemployed for some time, relying solely on the allowance I gave him each month. He shouldn't have had any savings left. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to confront my husband. In the meantime, I called my brother over and asked him to look after my son. Of course, my brother was unaware of Austin's affair, so I fabricated a reason. Sorry for calling you over so suddenly. No problem, but what's going on? You said you need me to look after Drake. Well, actually, there's something I really need to shop for alone. Shopping? You're not usually so materialistic. You usually shop online. I know, but today I need to buy something that's only available in store. Can you watch Drake for me? Sure, but don't be too late. Drake will miss you. Thanks, I'll be quick. With my brother's help, I managed to tail Austin. Soon enough, I caught him walking arm in arm with my best friend, Ashley. Witnessing it firsthand was a shock despite my suspicions. They entered a luxury brand store together, and then I saw something unbelievable. No way, are you kidding me? That's my credit card. Indeed, the card my husband was using to pay for their shopping spree belonged to me, a secondary card I often used. Normally, I kept my main credit card in my wallet, but the secondary card had been left in my drawer. Without my permission, my husband had taken it to pay for Ashley's gifts. Over the past few months, I had made significant purchases for work, monitors, keyboards, even furniture, using that card. The accumulated expenses were substantial. Both cards shared the same bank account, and with my hectic schedule, I hadn't checked the card details recently. It had come back to haunt me. I couldn't believe it. Not only was he cheating, but he was also using my money without my knowledge. My love for him evaporated instantly. I blamed myself for not paying closer attention, but even so, forgiveness was out of the question. I gathered ample evidence, snapping countless photos of them together, before returning home in a daze. For the next few days, I obsessed over ways to retaliate against my husband. Whenever he was out, I meticulously combed through his PC. His smartphone and PC were synced, making it easy to scrutinize his exchanges with Ashley. Eventually, I discovered they were planning a trip during the upcoming holidays, a 4-day getaway. This is my chance, I thought grimly. I decided to exact my revenge during the same time as my husband's affair trip. However, there was one major obstacle: our son. Completing my revenge plan without Drake finding out about his father's affair would be challenging. So, once again, I turned to my brother for help. I hate to ask, but could you look after Drake during the upcoming holidays? The holidays? You mean all 4 days? Yes, I have something important to take care of. Something important, huh? My brother replied with a knowing tone. His words made me uneasy. Alexa, stop trying to handle everything on your own. What do you mean? Austin's cheating, isn't he? How did you? I heard it from Drake. What? Drake? My young son had somehow sensed his father's affair, despite his tender age. He might not have fully understood the situation, but he knew his father's closeness to someone other than me was hurting me deeply. I thought I was hiding it so well from Drake. Why? It means Austin's actions are hurting you enough for Drake to notice, my brother reasoned. Are you really going to stay with someone who hurts you like this? But if I divorce Austin, Drake will be devastated. Just then, as if on cue, Drake appeared from the next room. It's okay, Mom. I'm on your side. Drake, are you sure? I don't need anyone who makes Mom sad. As long as I have Mom, it's okay. Thank you, Drake, and thank you too, brother. With the support of my son and brother, I resolved to seek revenge on my husband without hesitation. On the day my husband planned to leave for his affair trip, Drake and I quietly packed our belongings. My brother assisted us covertly while my husband was away. The night before his departure, I decided to give him one last chance. Austin, what's with the suitcase? Why are you packing? Oh, this? I'm going on a trip with some friends starting tomorrow. A trip? You never mentioned that. It was a sudden plan. It's not a big deal. I'll cover it with my monthly allowance. My husband exuded an aura of don't talk to me, clearly avoiding further inquiry. But I was undeterred. In a tone rarely used, I confronted him softly yet firmly. Hey, are you sure it's just with your friends? He visibly panicked, his shoulders tensing. Still, he clung desperately to his lie. Of course, you've been quite persistent, haven't you? All right. I understand. Enjoy your trip with your friends. I was going to enjoy it even if you didn't tell me to. Just don't get too carried away, all right? With that, I left my husband's room. Honestly, if he had just told me the truth, I might have considered an amicable separation, seeking alimony and child support. Despite his betrayal, he was someone I once loved deeply. His support had sustained me during times when my novels didn't sell. I didn't want to harbor true hatred or resentment towards him, but given what had transpired, I couldn't afford to be lenient anymore. For the sake of my son and my own future, I had to bring an end to our relationship. There was no reason for me to hold back now, not after discovering his persistent lies. The next morning, my husband had already left for his trip. I opened the drawer and confirmed that he had taken my credit card as expected. Immediately, I contacted the bank, reported the card as lost, and requested it be deactivated. My son woke up and I greeted him with a cheerful good morning. Mom, it's today, right? Ha! The move. We're going to our new house today, right? Looking at my son's bright smile, any lingering anxiety inside me vanished. Oh, Drake, you're right. I've already stopped the credit card, so let's move to our new home. Yeah, I can't wait for our new place. With my brother's help, our move went smoothly. Our belongings, along with my son's, were settled in our new home, while my husband's things were sent elsewhere the next day. As I relaxed in our new home with my son and brother, my husband called. Hello. Oh, Alexa. What is it? Well, actually, this trip is costing more than I expected. Could you possibly transfer me some money? He was probably struggling to pay for things on his trip because I had frozen the credit card. His indirect request for money disgusted me. Didn't you say you were going within your own budget? Sorry, but I don't have any money to lend you. Oh, don't be like that. If you don't help me, I'll be the only one not enjoying the trip. You mean both of you, right? To that, my husband seemed dumbfounded. Ha! After all, you're on a trip. You want to show Ashley only the good parts, right? But sorry, the card you took is no longer valid. You'll have to manage on your own. What are you talking about, Alexa? In the card. Pretending not to know is pointless. You're panicking too much. Because you're saying nonsensical things. I don't know anything about a card. Enough. I already know you've been cheating on me with my best friend, Ashley. What? Did you really think I had no idea? Are you that dense? It's obvious. No. This isn't what you think. I'm not cheating. I was furious that my husband kept trying to make excuses. Not caring that my brother and son were next to me, I unleashed all the anger I had been holding back. Stop making excuses. You had a family and you had an affair with another woman. On top of that, using someone else's card. Do you realize how despicable your actions have been? Alexa, let's calm down for now. Huh? There's no way I can stay calm when I'm dealing with the person I hate the most in the world, don't you think? And just so you know, I have no intention of forgiving you or helping you. You and the woman you're with can go to hell for all I care. Never show your face to Drake and me again. Saying that, I hung up on my husband. Then his mistress, Ashley, called me. Hey Alexa, what the hell did you do? Ashley, long time no see. How's the trip with my husband? Shut up. Explain yourself. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. You sent Austin's belongings to my house, didn't you? Yes, indeed. When we moved, I sent my husband's belongings to Ashley. But Ashley is a married woman, so of course her husband is at home. That's exactly why I sent all of Austin's belongings to her house, including a long letter explaining everything. She screamed at me over the phone, her voice breaking. This isn't a joke. What did he do? My husband found out, and now he's furious. Well, it serves you right for having an affair while being married. You're supposed to be my friend. This is low. I misjudged you. Excuse me, that's my line. My best friend was having an affair with my husband, you know. How can I forgive that? Who was rude first, huh? I wasn't serious, it was just for fun. There's no way I'd settle for a jobless loser like him. I don't care whether you were serious or not. I'm about to get a divorce anyway. You did have an affair, and that's a fact. I will never forgive you. I will demand a lot of compensation, so brace yourself. Compensation? What's that? I didn't hear anything about that. Well, of course you did. What you deserve. Wait, I'm a housewife. I can't pay any compensation. I don't care. Either figure it out yourself or beg your husband. Well, I doubt that would work though. Oh wait, Alexa, hey, wait. Goodbye. I hung up without listening to her and blocked her number. Afterward, I finalized my divorce through my lawyer and demanded compensation from my ex-husband and Ashley. Alongside child support, I insisted on repayment for the credit card charges he made without my consent. Due to the debts from paying compensation, Ashley's husband demanded a divorce and she was kicked out of their home. She attempted to rely on her parents, but they turned her away given the circumstances. Now, she lives where she works and does night jobs at a bar. Austin tried to lean on Ashley, but she was furious because she had to divorce him. She promptly cut ties with my ex-husband, ending their relationship. Currently, my ex-husband works multiple part-time jobs and lives paycheck to paycheck. After being unemployed for so long, finding a stable job won't be easy for him. If he ever falls behind in alimony or child support payments, I intend to pursue him for the owed amount by any means necessary. As for me, I'm living peacefully in a new home with my son. His growth is remarkable, and every day is truly exciting. I aim to continue giving him lots of love, ensuring he never